But if you want to talk about white privilege and being pulled over by the police, because that was a big thing that came up this week, and people were discussing how most white people aren't asked to get out of the car the way some people of color are asked to get out of the car. And that reminded me of my story, because people are like, no, I've never been asked to get out of the car. And I remembered being 18, driving through Poway, which is kind of my hometown. I grew up in San Diego. And I was pulled over. And I knew there was no reason for the sheriff to pull me over. And he actually said to me, don't get out of the car. He said, hang on, don't get out of the car. So what I did is I opened the door and I got out of the car. And what did I do once I got out of the car? I actually started yelling at this sheriff. Yelling at him. Now, I'm not waving my arms at him, but yelling at him. I said, why are you pulling me over? You had no right to pull me over. There's no reason for you to pull me over. To which he said, well, you were hugging the left side a little bit. And I said, hugging the left side? What does that even mean? And I continued to yell at him, and I'm yelling at him. I mean, I had 2 or 3 other friends in the car, at least 2. I'm failing to remember if the third friend in there, because we were driving from one friend's house to the other friend's house. So I know those 2 friends, but usually we had 1 or 2 of these other friends, kind of part of our little crew there. They'll tell you this. I yelled at him. I said, no, you had no right to pull me over. And after I was done yelling at him for a couple minutes, he said to me, okay, I'm sorry, sir. I just have to make sure people aren't drinking and driving around here. And I just wanted to pull you over and be sure. And I said, I'm not drinking and driving, and nothing I did made you think you should pull me over. He again apologized to me. I got into my car and continued on my way. Here's the fun part about it that I don't think I mentioned. I don't know that I mentioned both of these things when I originally told this story. We were breaking the law. I was technically breaking the law. I guarantee, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that there was some marijuana in my car. Guarantee it. I'm sure I wasn't super impaired, but we had definitely been smoking marijuana earlier in the night. And then on top of that, I'm bringing my friend home from my other friend's house who wasn't actually 18, and it was very late at night. And there's a curfew in San Diego. I don't know if there still is, but there was back in the 90s, early 2000s. He actually could have gotten a ticket. My friend, he wasn't supposed to be out. At the time you had to be out with someone older than like 18. That was the curfew. We were technically breaking at least 2 laws. At least 2. What happens? I yell. I get out of the car when I'm not supposed to. I yell at the officer. I get an apology. I get back in my car, and I drive on my way. That is white privilege to a T.